The night sky unfolds. A sea of stars stretching to infinity. Distant galaxies swirl in a cosmic dance of light and shadow. Narrator, V.O. In a universe filled with noise, one kid listened closely enough. Narrator, V.O. To hear a whisper from the stars. Dim light fills SpaceBoy's room, casting long shadows from astronomy posters and models. SpaceBoy, about 12, sits at his window, lost in the vastness of the starry night. His loyal dog, Cosmos, rests on the bed, a silent, furry companion in the quiet room. The soft glow of distant stars reflects in SpaceBoy's wide, dreaming eyes. Posters of galaxies swirl around him, fueling his imagination and sense of wonder. Cosmos lifts his head, sensing SpaceBoy's focus on the cosmos. Inside the dimly lit cockpit, instrument panels cast a soft glow on SpaceBoy, his young face framed by the vast cosmos. SpaceBoy stares out at the star-dusted canvas of space, his eyes reflecting the distant galaxies. His voice, barely a whisper, carries a longing that echoes in the confined space. You know, Cosmos, somewhere out there, someone else has to be looking back. SpaceBoy whispers. In an unknown space, Cosmos pauses, head tilting slightly. A spark of curiosity flickers in Cosmos's bright eyes. Cosmos' gaze sharpens, a silent question forming. He cocks his head further, anticipation building. Cosmos asks, his voice echoing softly. Against the backdrop of endless stars, SpaceBoy stands alone, a solitary silhouette against the vast unknown. Asteroids drift silently, their ancient surfaces reflecting the cold light of distant galaxies. SpaceBoy's eyes reflect the cosmic wonder, a profound sense of loneliness etched on his young face. His voice, a mere whisper in the vacuum, carries a chilling revelation. Not just stars, someone or something. An echoing silence fills the infinite void of space. A low cosmic hum vibrates, the only sound in the vast emptiness. The faint hum resonates, a subtle yet profound presence. The silence and cosmic hum create a unique, almost palpable atmosphere. In SpaceBoy's room, Cosmos suddenly perks up, his ears twitching, sensing something beyond human perception. A subtle shift in Cosmos's demeanor hints at an unseen presence. The air vibrates with an inaudible signal, a high-pitched tone only Cosmos can detect. SFX. A subtle, high-pitched tone fades in. Cosmos remains still, attuned to the frequencies, his gaze fixed on a distant point. The room holds its breath, the only sound the faintest hum only Cosmos can hear. Cosmos, a small tabby, leaps gracefully from the bed, his lithe body stretching in a slow, deliberate arc. Paws clicking softly. He makes his way to the window, a silent hunter on a familiar quest. He rises on his hind legs, paws gently tapping against the glass, his gaze fixed on the world outside. His silver collar emits a soft, ethereal glow, a subtle beacon of mystery in the morning light. In an unknown place, SpaceBoy fidgets, his eyes wide with a frantic mix of anxiety and anticipation. His body is tense, coiled like a spring, ready to flee at the slightest provocation. His gaze darts around, searching for unseen threats, his unease growing. He mutters under his breath, a nervous edge to his voice. If this is about squirrels again, I swear. His hands clench and unclench, betraying his inner turmoil. The air is thick with unspoken tension, every shadow seeming to hold a potential danger. A soft, wave-like sound echoes whoomp, a cosmic pulse resonating through the unknown room. For a heartbeat, the room is awash in vibrant, neon light, revealing hidden textures. The light fades, leaving the room in anticipation of the next pulse. Silence descends, broken only by the lingering echo of the cosmic wave. Absolute darkness, an unsettling silence, broken only by the faint hum of unseen machinery. The darkness seems to press in, a void pregnant with untold possibilities. A pause, thick with anticipation, hangs heavy in the air. A child's voice, small and filled with innocent wonder, pierces the silence. SpaceBoy's voice whispers in awe. Whoa. The room fades into view, dominated by shadows and the soft glow of distant city lights filtering through the window. SpaceBoy lies still on his bed, his face pale in the dim light. Suddenly, a flash of light illuminates his face, briefly revealing a look of exhaustion and sadness. His eyes are closed, his expression peaceful despite the underlying weariness. The room returns to darkness, leaving SpaceBoy alone with his thoughts. In the gloom, a lone figure stands silhouetted against an eerie glow. Dust motes swirl around SpaceBoy, the only witness to the impossible. SpaceBoy stares, disbelief etched across his face in the dim light. That wasn't lightning, he whispers, his voice trembling in the echoing space. Cosmos, alone under the vast sky, emits a soft whine, a sound swallowed by the open air. A sudden, sharp bark pierces the silence, directed upwards as if challenging the heavens. The bark echoes, unanswered, across the undefined landscape, highlighting Cosmos's isolation. Cosmos's fur ruffles in an unseen wind, his posture tense with unspoken anticipation. The sky remains indifferent, a silent witness to Cosmos' solitary vigil. SpaceBoy turns, his face a canvas of confusion and dawning awareness in the stark light. His eyes lock onto Cosmos, seeking confirmation in the vast emptiness. A silent question hangs in the air, a plea for shared understanding. SpaceBoy's expression deepens, a flicker of urgency in his gaze. You felt that too, didn't you? SpaceBoy asks, his voice barely a whisper in the echoing space. The weight of the unknown settles heavily between them, binding them in shared perception. In an unknown location, SpaceBoy reaches for his old tablet recorder. His fingers wrap around the worn edges of the device, a sense of familiarity. The screen flickers to life, casting a soft glow on his face. He holds the tablet, ready to record the next chapter. The scene begins mid-action, suggesting a continuation from an unseen moment. An unseen, perhaps makeshift, recording setup hints at informality. A sense of immediacy fills the air, capturing an unscripted moment. SpaceBoy's voice breaks the silence, a hint of playful frustration in his tone. Okay. SpaceBoy repeats, setting the stage for a potential replay. If that happens again, we're recording it this time, SpaceBoy declares. In SpaceBoy's bedroom, an eerie glow emanates from Cosmos's collar, an otherworldly beacon in the quiet space. Strange symbols ignite on the collar's surface, pulsing with an energy that defies earthly explanation. A series of gentle glyph beeps fills the room, an alien Morse code echoing in the stillness. The glowing symbols intensify, casting dancing shadows across the familiar walls of the bedroom. The beeping grows more rapid, as if Cosmos is receiving a message from a distant galaxy. An unseen connection hums between the collar and the Cosmos, a silent dialogue unfolding. In a stark setting, SpaceBoy intensely focuses on an indiscernible detail on someone's collar, his curiosity piqued. SpaceBoy leans closer, his eyes never leaving the spot, a silent question hanging in the air. His voice breaks the silence with a hint of surprise. Wait, was that always on your collar? The question hangs heavy, inviting mystery and intrigue into the otherwise plain scene. Under an expansive sky, Cosmos stands motionless, his gaze fixed intensely on an unseen point. A moment of profound contemplation etches itself onto Cosmos's face as he shifts his gaze between an unknown figure and the heavens. Cosmos's eyes reflect a blend of wonder and apprehension as he studies the vast, indifferent sky above. The silence stretches, broken only by the whisper of wind, as Cosmos seeks answers in the firmament. A subtle shift in Cosmos's posture hints at a decision, his eyes now holding a spark of newfound determination. In an unknown location, SpaceBoy kneels, his young face etched with curiosity as he gazes at the dog. The dog stares back, its eyes seeming to hold a depth of understanding, an unspoken connection between them. SpaceBoy's voice is soft, filled with wonder as he whispers his question to the canine. "You're not just a regular dog, are you?" The dog cocks its head, as if contemplating the profound question hanging in the air. Silence reigns in the cosmos, an infinite canvas dotted with the cold, distant light of ancient stars. A profound, dark void stretches, promising endless mysteries and unknown wonders. An almost imperceptible roar vibrates through the emptiness, a lonely echo in the cosmic dark. The sound pulses, an alien heartbeat in the vast, silent theater of space. The stars hang like diamonds, cold and distant, as the sound fades, leaving only the void. In the dim, unknown location, SpaceBoy stands, eyes wide with wonder and fear. He stares, fixated, at his dog's collar, an object of sudden mystery. SpaceBoy grapples with the impossible, muttering to himself in disbelief. Okay, totally normal. Your dog's collar is talking to the stars. Totally fine." A high-pitched hum fills the air, emanating from the collar. The subtle sound is ever present, a constant reminder. Gradually, the hum begins to soften, its intensity waning. The sound slowly diminishes, fading into the background. Silence descends, the hum now a mere memory. The absence of the sound is palpable, a stark contrast. An alarm clock blares, and upbeat music fills the air as a new day begins. SpaceBoy stands before the mirror, a solitary figure readying himself for the day. With deliberate care, SpaceBoy adjusts his backpack, a symbol of his readiness. The mirror reflects SpaceBoy's focused intent, a hero preparing for an ordinary day. In a bustling school hallway, SpaceBoy stands frozen, a small island of awkwardness in a sea of unfamiliar faces. He clutches his backpack, knuckles white, eyes darting nervously as if searching for an escape route. He braces himself, whispering a mantra of self-control. New school, new kids. His voice barely audible, he repeats, "Don't talk about glowing dog collar." A silent plea escapes his lips. "Don't talk about glowing dog collar." In the dim light, Cosmos gently nudges my leg, a silent question in his eyes. Cosmos's fur is matted. He looks tired. The room is silent, except for Cosmos's gentle breathing. "Cosmos, nudges my leg again." I look down at Cosmos, a wave of emotion washing over me. In an unknown location bathed in daylight, a solitary figure gently pets SpaceBoy. SpaceBoy, an entity of otherworldly presence, responds to the touch. The figure's expression is soft, conveying a sense of comfort and companionship. SpaceBoy reflects on existence, a hint of melancholy in its stance. "You're lucky. You don't have to explain yourself," SpaceBoy murmurs, its voice tinged with longing. A poignant moment of shared understanding between two beings from different worlds. The school buzzes with life as kids chatter and lockers slam. A distant bus rumbles, marking the start of a new day. Before the school sign stands SpaceBoy, a figure of quiet anticipation against the backdrop of youthful exuberance. Cosmos, leashed gently at his side, mirrors SpaceBoy's calm demeanor, a silent sentinel amidst the chaos. He pauses, taking a deep breath before stepping into the unknown of the new school. In an unknown space, SpaceBoy inhales deeply, his posture reflecting a moment of resolve, a visible effort to compose himself. A deep breath preceding a transformation. "Okay, Irvin Carter, version 2. he mutters, a determined edge to his voice. His expression shifts, a forced normality in his eyes. Less weird, more normal. In stark isolation, SpaceBoy stands, a lone figure against the backdrop of the unknown. A subtle smirk plays on SpaceBoy's lips, hinting at concealed confidence. SpaceBoy exudes an air of detached amusement, a silent challenge in their eyes. SpaceBoy's smirk deepens, a subtle acknowledgement of unspoken expectations. With casual defiance, SpaceBoy utters, Yeah, I know." SpaceBoy's eyes glint with a mixture of anticipation and indifference, ready for what's to come. The school hallway buzzes with a cacophony of voices and shuffling feet, a sea of faces blurring into a collective energy. Amidst the chaos, SpaceBoy stands out, a lone figure wrestling with a crumpled map. He squints, brows furrowed in concentration, turning the map this way and that, lost in a labyrinth of hallways and confusion. His expression is one of utter bewilderment. The map seems to mock him, its secrets refusing to yield to his desperate attempts at navigation. SpaceBoy shuffles down the bright school hallway, a crumpled paper clutched tightly in his hand. Frustration etches across his face as he scans the room numbers, a sea of identical doors mocking his search. Each step echoes his growing desperation, the fluorescent lights amplifying his lonely quest. He mutters under his breath, his voice barely audible above the din. Room 204. STEM lab. His eyes dart from side to side, a flicker of hope battling the rising tide of despair. "Where are you?" he whispers, the crumpled paper trembling slightly in his grip. In the stark silence of the unknown location, a cold, metallic gleam catches the light as a gadget slips from unseen hands. The gadget falls, a silent prelude to the chaos about to unfold. Clang echoes through the void, a sharp, intrusive sound that shatters the stillness. The sound reverberates, hinting at advanced technology and the secrets it holds. The stark, echoing clang leaves the audience in suspense, unsure of what it will trigger. An unseen figure stumbles, a near fall in an unknown location. A moment of imbalance, a brief struggle for footing. Alex's voice cuts through the air, a warning sharp and immediate. "Whoa, watch your feet," Alex shouts. The potential for disaster averted, but tension lingers. A sense of unease permeates the unknown location. Under the open sky, SpaceBoy's gaze is fixed downwards, a silent observer of an unseen world. On the bare ground, a small, intricate gadget spins with increasing speed, a whirlwind of unknown purpose. The spinning gadget reflects the sunlight, a beacon of mystery against the mundane Earth. SpaceBoy watches, his expression unreadable, as the gadget's dance intensifies, hinting at a hidden power. In an unknown place, SpaceBoy stands, head down. SpaceBoy's eyes widen, and he seems surprised by something he sees on the ground. A look of guilt spreads across SpaceBoy's face. "Oh, sorry, did I step on that?" SpaceBoy asks, a note of concern in his voice. Alex kneels in the dust, his fingers brushing against something unseen, a sense of anticipation etched on his face. He lifts a small, metallic device into the light, examining it with a critical eye, searching for flaws. A flicker of disappointment crosses his features as he recognizes the device's limitations. "Almost. That's a prototype. It only kind of explodes," Alex mutters, tossing the device aside with a sigh. SpaceBoy's eyes widen, a sudden wave of alarm washing over his face. His breath hitches, a question trembling on his lips as a horrifying realization dawns. "Explodes?" SpaceBoy cries out, the word hanging in the air like a death knell. His face tightens with fear as the dreadful possibility unfolds before him. In an unknown location, SpaceBoy stands awkwardly, his youth palpable in his hesitant stance. He fidgets with his hands, a clear sign of his uncertainty in this strange place. "Yeah, I'm Irvin, but people call me," he starts, his voice trailing off in apprehension. He pauses, then admits with a touch of melancholy. Actually, they don't really call me anything yet. In an unknown location, Alex stands confidently, a subtle smirk hinting at their self-assuredness. Alex's eyes gleam with amusement as they prepare to engage with an unseen presence. The air crackles with anticipation as Alex breaks the silence, ready to start. Cool, I'll start. Nice to meet you, SpaceBoy, Alex says, their voice dripping with playful challenge. In an unknown location, SpaceBoy stares ahead, his expression unreadable, lost in thought. He blinks slowly, his eyes searching for something beyond the visible. A flicker of confusion crosses his face as he tries to process the unseen. His brow furrows, a subtle tension building in the silence around him. Finally, he whispers, his voice barely audible, filled with disbelief. What? Alex watches as the individual gazes fixedly at the ceiling, lost in thought. The silence stretches, broken only by the distant hum of unseen machinery. Alex leans forward, a knowing glint in his eyes, ready to break the silence. You've been staring at the ceiling like it owes you answers since you walked in, Alex remarks. The school hallway stretches long and echoing, lined with lockers. They walk side by side, their footsteps a soft rhythm against the polished floor. Cosmos trots happily beside them, his tail wagging. A sense of camaraderie fills the air as they move through the bustling school. Inside the spaceship, Alex relaxes, a seasoned space traveler observing the newcomer with a mischievous glint. Alex leans back, a sense of laid-back confidence radiating from them. So, new space kid, you into rockets, black holes, aliens, or just vibes? Alex asks, a playful challenge in their tone. The newcomer faces Alex, anticipation hanging in the air, waiting for their response. In an undefined location, SpaceBoy appears uncertain, a silent question hanging in the air. A moment of tense anticipation etches itself onto SpaceBoy's face. The weight of the unknown presses down, heavy with unspoken expectations. SpaceBoy's voice cracks slightly, the sound barely audible. Yes? His eyes dart around, searching for answers in the surrounding emptiness. Alex smiles warmly, a gesture of welcome illuminating his face, as he extends a hand in camaraderie. The room awaits, filled with promise and the potential for discovery. Perfect, Alex says, his eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. You're joining STEM Club, he confirms, sealing the invitation with a confident nod. Sunlight floods the empty school hallway, illuminating dust motes. Lockers stand silent, witnesses to countless whispered secrets. A whiteboard bears a cryptic message, a challenge hanging in the air. Alex's words echo in the empty hall. We meet after school. Room 204. Bring your brain and your weird glowing dog. Alex's message concludes. In the stark room, she raises a finger, her gaze locked onto Cosmos, a silent intensity filling the space. Her finger points with unwavering focus at Cosmos's collar, an unspoken command hanging in the air. The collar flickers, faintly, a subtle shift in light, almost imperceptible, yet undeniable. The faint flicker hints at hidden energies, a secret held close, now threatening to break free. Her eyes narrow slightly, the flicker confirming her suspicions, a dangerous game about to begin. In an unknown place, SpaceBoy stands alone, his anxiety palpable as his eyes dart around nervously. He fidgets, a picture of unease, as if sensing unseen eyes watching his every move. His voice, barely a whisper, betrays his inner turmoil, a stark contrast to the vast emptiness around him. He whispers, his voice trembling slightly. You saw that? His question hangs in the air, unanswered, amplifying the surrounding mystery. In the school hallway, Benny strides confidently, his cape billowing dramatically behind him. His crew shadows him closely, their expressions mirroring Benny's swagger. Each step echoes in the hallway, marking their territory. The rhythmic swish of Benny's cape accentuates his dominant presence. A silent declaration of power resonates as they move through the school. The scene bursts open, details blurred, chaos hinting at something sinister. All eyes turn to a startling event unfolding. Benny's voice cuts through the tension, laced with dark humor and intrigue. Well, new kid's already getting kidnapped by the science squad. Alex stands in the dim, unknown space, posture firm and gaze steady. His face is a mask of indifference, his expression unyielding. The air hangs heavy with unspoken tension. "Ignore him," Alex commands, his voice sharp and resolute. In an undefined location, light filters through, casting long, eerie shadows that dance with the unseen. A palpable tension fills the air, hinting at an imminent, significant event about to unfold. The silence is broken as Alex's voice cuts through the unease, a note of disbelief in his tone. Alex's words drip with sarcasm as he reveals the character. That is Blackhole Benny. Alex finishes with a sneer. He thinks he's the main character, a dismissive judgment hanging in the air. An echoing voice fills the stark, unknown space. The emptiness amplifies the solitary sound. "I am the main character," Benny's voice declares. The declaration hangs in the air, unanswered. The school bell shrieks, slicing through the air as a torrent of students bursts from classrooms. A chaotic sea of backpacks and voices surges down the hallway, echoing with youthful energy. The initial flood begins to ebb, the crowded hallway gradually thinning as time passes. The hallway empties, leaving only a trickle of lingering students in the wake of the mass exodus. In a busy school hallway, Alex walks backward, a playful grin lighting up his face amidst the throng of students. Students rush past him, a blur of colors and hurried steps as they head towards their next classes. He glances over his shoulder, his voice ringing out above the din. "Don't be late, SpaceBoy." His grin widens, a hint of anticipation in his eyes. "STEM Club. After school." The hallway buzzes with youthful energy as Alex continues his backward journey, a beacon of playful defiance. In the dim, unknown location, Cosmos' collar emits a soft, ethereal glow, hinting at hidden energies. The subtle light pulsates, casting gentle shadows that dance across the unseen surroundings. A faint sound accompanies the glow, a gentle cosmic ping that resonates with otherworldly origins. The ping echoes softly, filling the space with a sense of mystery and anticipation. The light intensifies momentarily, before receding back to its gentle, rhythmic pulse. SpaceBoy, trying to mask his inner turmoil, meets Cosmos' gaze. He steadies himself, drawing a deep breath as if bracing for the unknown. "Okay, one thing at a time," SpaceBoy murmurs, his voice a fragile thread of resolve. His mind races, yet he clings to the present. "New school first, then we figure out why the universe is paging my dog," he says, a flicker of determination in his eyes. Inside the STEM lab, Alex gestures, showcasing a realm of scattered projects. Robotic arms sprawl, a testament to ingenuity and ambition. Circuit boards lay bare, the pathways to future innovation. Half-finished inventions scatter, dreams waiting to take flight. SpaceBoy observes, eyes wide with wonder at the chaos of creation. The cluttered lab pulses with potential, a canvas for young minds. Inside the STEM lab, SpaceBoy, Alex, and Benny huddle around a cluttered table, their expressions serious and focused. Alex's robot, Grok, stands silently in the background, its metallic eyes gleaming with a faint, enigmatic light. Tools and components are scattered across the table, hinting at the complex project underway. The air crackles with anticipation as they prepare to unveil their latest creation, a mix of excitement and nervousness. Each member contributes, lost in thought, as they work together in the heart of the lab, The planetarium is plunged into darkness, the dome above shimmering with faint, ethereal starlight. Dust motes swirl in the air, illuminated by the celestial glow. The kids cautiously move through rows of empty seats, their figures small against the vastness. Whispers echo in the silent space, amplifying the sense of mystery and wonder. Each step is measured, anticipation building with every shadow and glimmer. Beneath the planetarium's dome, Cosmos begins his transformation. His human features ripple, an unsettling distortion taking place. Otherworldly light shimmers across his skin, a beacon in the dimness. The air crackles with unseen energy as the change intensifies. His eyes glow, reflecting the vastness of the cosmos above. Cosmos shifts, revealing his alien form in stark, breathtaking detail. In the silent planetarium, a holographic map materializes, showcasing the splendid rings of Saturn in breathtaking detail. The rings shimmer, ethereal and serene, a testament to cosmic beauty. Without warning, the rings convulse violently, their tranquil appearance shattered by unseen forces. A surge of raw energy courses through the rings, an electric jolt disrupting the celestial calm. The holographic projection flickers, threatened by the intensity of the unfolding cosmic event. Saturn's majestic rings are now a spectacle of chaos, their future hanging precariously in the balance. The planetarium's dome envelops the scene in a blanket of stars, their light painting the hushed space. Silence pervades, punctuated only by the projector's subtle hum. Constellations swirl, an ethereal dance of light and shadow across the curved ceiling. A sense of cosmic warning permeates the air, heavy and unspoken. Each star seems to pulse with unspoken truths, now recognized as a dire omen. In the darkened planetarium, a tear appears, shimmering like a heat haze, disrupting the cosmic calm. The anomaly pulsates with otherworldly energy, distorting the projected stars around it. Space itself seems to ripple as the tear widens, briefly revealing a glimpse of something unknown. Then, with a sudden snap, the anomaly vanishes, leaving the planetarium in silent, undisturbed darkness. A shimmering distortion manifests in the planetarium, an unsettling presence against the serene star projection. The distortion resolves into something, its form stark and alien. Or, a complex sequence of light and sound bursts from the central projector, filling the dome. The eruption conveys a message, its origin and intent shrouded in mystery. The air crackles with unseen energy, heightening the tension. Night blankets the school, its darkened windows reflecting the starlit sky. Echoes of music linger in the air, a final note resonating with untold stories. The empty schoolyard whispers secrets carried on the night wind. Silence descends, broken only by the distant hum of the city. A chapter closes, the music fading into the promise of a new beginning. The school stands silent, a sentinel guarding memories as the next act beckons.